This effective mind control video concerns the link between the amygdala and emotions. The organ triggers your emotions faster than your conscious awareness. The unique, speed dial circuits of the two almond-sized nuclei within your brain are the first to react to emotionally significant events. These organs protect you from harm by interpreting subconscious hints of danger to trigger lightning-fast responses. The amazing pattern recognition competence of these organs provides clear evidence of the theme of this website that the mind does not compute, but senses patterns. These organs detect and respond to subliminal signals of danger, or of obstructions to one's goals. In coordination with the insula, they also respond with alacrity to negative emotions like grief, guilt, envy, or shame. During the early beginnings of life, nature developed the amygdala as a defense response mechanism for animals. Recognizing danger patterns, the organs enabled animals to fight, freeze, or escape. As essential as the vertebrae, these organs protected fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals from harm. Later, the evolutionary process evolved more sophisticated emotions to support herd life among animals. These social emotions were triggered from the insula, another organ in the limbic system. The amygdala is a bundled network of neurons, about 1 inch in length, in the limbic system, deep within the brain. Deciding on the emotional significance of received sensory inputs, the central nucleus of the organ sends impulses to the brainstem, triggering, typically jumpy, avoidance behavior. Impulses sent by it to the hypothalamus activate the sympathetic nervous system, raising blood pressure and heartbeats. Impulses sent to the facial nerves generate varied expressions, including anger, fear and disgust. Painful experiences in life were always accompanied by patterns of internal and external sensory inputs. The amygdala assembled combinatorial memories of such pain-related patterns. Later, recognition of those patterns caused the organs to react in anticipation of pain. Many of these memories were acquired through personal experience. Others were inherited across innumerable generations. The reactions of the amygdala on recognition of such patterns are quick and dirty. Their responses bypass the deeper wisdom of more advanced brain regions. While it takes around 300 milliseconds for you to become fully aware of a disturbing event, the amygdala react to it within 20 milliseconds. Sadly, the knee-jerk responses of these organs cause you to overreact to the world around you. Their momentary mischief in the morning can subconsciously trouble you the whole day. An awareness of the mechanism can enable you to effectively still their ill effects and recover your peace of mind. In primeval animals, the amygdala initiated primitive anger and fear. Later, mirror neurons, related to the insula in the limbic system, enabled animals to internally experience the actions and emotions of others. These mechanisms heralded the arrival of herd living, when more subtle social emotions emerged. Eisenberger's research at UCLA reports that neural pain circuits were found to be activated when a person suffers social rejection. The pain of rejection differs from the pain of a pinprick. Pain is known to have two pathways. One carries the pain sensation signals and the other carry a feeling of hurt, which is reported to be more disagreeable. The insula react to the felt feelings of hate, disgust, shame, guilt, envy, jealousy, sadness and despair and send these hurt pain signals to the amygdala. The amygdala are quick to recognize the sensory signals of negative emotions in others. Recent Harvard research reported the reactions of the organ when subjects looked at photos of angry and fearful faces. The organ can identify fear and anger in a face. It is also reported to be sensitive to the threat implied by a direct gaze, as against eyes directed elsewhere. In the process, these organs empower social interactions. If the amygdala are damaged, animals fail to react to threatening situations with emotions or avoidance behaviors. But, the organs were responding to mere photos. Higher brain regions know that a photo is harmless. The amygdala are primitive in such assessments. The amygdala assists in the memory formation of emotional events. In experiments on caged rats, the animals receive painful foot shocks, accompanied by bell tones. Later, the sounds alone were observed to induce stresses in the animal. The sound signals were noted to generate stronger responses in the input synapses of the amygdala. The sound-to-pain relationship was retained in memory as long-term potentiation, LTP, a persisting potential, causing the amygdala to react more readily to signs of danger. The amygdala carry memories of the things you felt, saw and heard, each time you had a painful experience. Subliminal hints of such stressful events, even photos, cause the organs to set off attack or escape routines. Those motor routines trigger evasive actions or internal turmoil. Before you know it, you will become angry or take avoidance action. If you cannot solve the problem, angry, defensive, or fearful internal voices will nag you. The amygdala will overwhelm you with responses to real and imaginary threats for a lifetime. The amygdala trigger responses to anger. While you may forget a compliment, your amygdala will never forget a slight. When the organ becomes oversensitive to real or imagined stress points, anger becomes a problem. Anger causes some people to subconsciously resent authority or a cruel fate. Anger makes them impatient with mistakes and errors, or contemptuous of people. In positions of power, they become harsh, or patronizing and condescending. Hidden anger often covertly induces self-failure. Everywhere, it is the amygdala which impels them on. The amygdala trigger responses to fear. Fear tends to paralyze. Every vista appears dangerous and threatening. You can only do one of three things when you face a threat. Do something about it, avoid it, or live with it. Pangs of fear can be stilled through acceptance, self-awareness and a few mind control practices. When fear is stilled, the awareness of danger will still be present. But the ability to take calculated risks and make a project successful will come to the forefront. Common sense appears when fear is stilled. Creative management requires alertness, not fear. The amygdala trigger responses to grief. Grief is a social emotion, which triggers pain. When life deals you a severe blow, it is but natural to feel sadness and to dwell on the images of what might have been. All such images trigger evasive action by the amygdala, which desperately seeks to escape from the sense of loss. A reasonable period of grief is needed for a person to come to terms with dramatic changes in life. It is necessary to gradually forget the past and to plan for a new future. Self-awareness can still the constant tendency to dwell on thoughts of escape from the inevitable. As grief subsides, common sense will take over, motivating the mind to get on with life. The amygdala trigger responses leading to envy and jealousy. A social comparison drive within us relentlessly compares us with others. It is an unfortunate, but constant process. A neighbor's shiny new car can be a painful reminder of overdue mortgage payments. A bright new recruit to the office may be seen as a threat to the chances of promotion. Envy is triggered by failure and jealousy, by the prospect of failure. The insular trigger pain with every failure to compete. The amygdala triggers urgent but fruitless searches to avoid the pain. Failure leads to anger and negative behavior. An acceptance of one's own shortcomings can motivate you to avoid those failures in future, or to go out and seek new opportunities. You can capture control back from the turmoil created by the amygdala. The ancient organ responds to internal and external danger signals. But these are not life-threatening dangers in the modern world. You do not have to run for your life, or fight a tiger. It is only a motorist who swerved in front of you. Sadly, the amygdala pulls the emergency lever. Road rage or accidents could follow its visceral reactions. An awareness of the knee-jerk responses of the amygdala can enable you to still negative emotions and recover your peace of mind. The prefrontal regions have powerful inhibitory circuits to still amygdala activity. Intuitive pattern recognition by the mind functions by inhibiting irrelevant neural activity. An animal either drinks or chews grass. It can choose. The choice inhibits irrelevant systems. Conscious alternate actions can inhibit amygdala activity. If you choose to count up to 10, your anger will reduce. You will become more tactful towards your opponent. The amygdala is inhibited by common sense. Its urgent reaction to a snake will be instantly stilled if you find that it is only a garden hose. The mind control tips in this website suggest a few routines to quiet the amygdala. The first of these is an acceptance by the organ of the inevitability of the problems you face. Problems appear awful only when their implications are unknown. When you evaluate them and face them, the amygdala will not react unreasonably. There are also ways to quiet visceral reactions. Relaxation exercises can also still signals sent to the amygdala by tightened muscles. An awareness of the physical symptoms accompanying emotions can also instantly disconnect the messages to the amygdala. This website presents you with ways to still negative emotions. Ongoing practice can bring you peace of mind. Thank you for watching.